What's up, everybody? Happy Horror Tuesday and Blaze Horror. I'm finally getting around to the video on George A. Romero, Land of the Dead. Release date was, 2005, I believe. One of my favorite comical end of the zombie movies. Very comical movie. It's starring, first off, let's get to the director, George A. Romero. We all know who that is, and if you don't, then you're not a horror fan. So you need to go home and do your studying. But yeah, George A. Romero. This is also the sequel to Diary of the Dead. So yeah, let's get more into this film. This film is starring Dennis Hopper, a movie legend, a big screen legend. There's no photo pictures of him on the back. There's other releases with better artwork and cover work, slipcover stuff. So yeah, it stars Dennis Hopper, John Leguizamo, Simon Baker, and Asia Argento, which Asia Argento appeared in Triple X starring Vin Diesel. She's also in a couple other classics films. Now her father, what was her father? Dario Argento. A lot of the deep-rooted horror fans know who he is, Dario Argento. He brought us some 70s and early 80s horror classics. One to name out of many is Demons. He also worked on The Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, so he's got a slew of movies. To me, next to George A. Romero, Argento is the number 2 guy to go to back in those days if you want to see a real good horror movie. And the grittiness of the film. Classic. So yeah, his daughter stars in this also, which she plays a kick-butt character in it. I just finished watching it about an hour ago. Probably about the 1,000th plus time I watched this since it's been out. It takes place in the surrounding of a city. I'm not sure what city it is. It could be like LA landscape or so. But everybody after this zombie apocalypse going to this city, and there's this one guy. He might have been a big rich billionaire or millionaire or whatever, or he could have been a politician. But that particular character is played by Dennis Hopper. And, he does a bunch of sly stuff on the side. John Leguizamo character works for him. He does all his dirt work. Like when somebody doesn't see something this guy's way, it's time to take out the garbage. So John Leguizamo plays a part in doing stuff like that. But you see now, outside of this building where all the rich and well-off people are, all the greedy people, I should say, that grabbed all the stuff for themselves at first. It's sort of like everything outside that building is like an inner city. The biggest slums of an inner city that you ever did see. Once again, the rich dumping on the ones who ain't that fortunate. And they're not that fortunate because all these rich people in this tower took everything. So yeah, and then the one character, Simon Baker, he's the main character of the film. Him, his buddy, and that Argento, the girl. They team up. They go back and forth. John Leguizamo has a disagreement with Dennis Hopper's character, and John Leguizamo brings down the tower that they're in. You've got the mall and everybody's down and all the rich. The zombies wind up getting into that. That's another thing about this film. The zombies, they're learning to adapt to their old ways. Like there's a zombie, one of the main zombies in the film. He's a mechanic, gas station attendant. There's one part where zombies walk through and they set that bell off outside the gas station. The car rolls over. So the gas attendant inside knows that they got a customer, so he comes out, he walks to the pump, and he's looking around for the car. He knows that he remembers how to use a machine gun, which makes for some great action sequences later on in the film. But these zombies, he takes all the zombies from all his buddy zombies, and they walk across the harbor underneath the water, and they come out the other side. They get into the city. There's nothing but blood. Good old George Romero. Bloodshed everywhere. The guts, everything. It was just like, this is a proper film. This is something you would have seen in the 80s. Because the 80s made greater horror films than what we have today. Hands down, my opinion. But yeah, so if you haven't seen Land of the Dead, or the other ones like Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead is a little more cornier than any other zombie movie, by my opinion. But I still go ahead and watch it because, come on, the zombies. They're on an island. You got the Irish and the Scottish banging heads back and forth in the midst of the zombie apocalypse. So if you haven't seen Survival of the Dead, you check out that film. It's real comical. Keep in mind it's comical. Diary of the Dead, I thought was a cool movie too. I enjoyed that, even though there's a lot of handheld filming going on in that movie. Which I thank the Blair Witch for that, because I think that's where it all came about. And then you had Cloverfield. They did the same thing. They went ahead with that. Some movies have pulled it off to where it works, and so other movies are like, it can strain your eyes and hurt your neck. Like you don't want to be holding your video the whole time throughout life. But yeah, Diary of the Dead is a good one. Remember, this is the sequel to Diary of the Dead. This is the sequel to Diary of the Dead. Sorry, I'm getting tripped up here. Something about talking about zombies is one of them things that get me excited. Might have a zombie marathon tonight. But yeah, so Land of the Dead, George A. Romero, classic. Anything this guy did or touched is a classic. If you're a beginner horror fan, you need to check out George A. Romero's films in general. You'll love them. It'll bring out that true essence of a horror fan out of your heart. Sorry, my dog's over here. He's a little brute, man. He looks like he's all beat up. But so on that note, my dog's trying to get off the bed. So on that note, thank you for viewing my content. Feel free to like and subscribe. Hit the notification buttons so you know when me and my furry little friend here will be posting more videos. And I'll see you next time.